Brett.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Justin Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And if it is meant to be,
It's meant to be.
It's a good topic of the day because today is Friday Feels. It's all about dating, love, and relationships. And we have a question for you. Are you a love addict? Knowing that it can happen to a single person, someone who's dating, or someone who's even married. We're going to discuss this and more, knowing the truth that you are the one you've been waiting for and the ultimate relationship is always within. All relationships are the projection and reflection of our ability or inability to love.
Let them know, Dr. Erin. Let them know.
woo, hashtag Friday Feels. It is so much easier for me to love others and love myself.
Is it?
Absolutely. That's been like an epic journey for me.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
That's definitely been part of my journey, no question about it. Self-love. I think it's part of everybody's.
I'm a recovering love addict, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never really obsessed with the idea of love in like a traditional way. I really wasn't. But I think that almost every kind of addiction is really a dyslexic search for love. Well, it really is, right? Like it's fame. Yes. Fame. Like if you're obsessed with fame, money, drugs, I think at the root of that is really a lack of self-love and really happiness. No?
Interesting. I'm excited to talk more about this later. We want to introduce our special guest today. We have a slew of them in the house. It is a full house. We are packed today on Friday. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey. Woo! And this is just a taste of a few of our guests we have here today. We have the ladies of Inspiring Lives magazine from this recent issue. And we also have Mr. Eddie Perez. He's a two-time Emmy Award-winning actor, stunt coordinator, AD. I mean, this man is on fire and has some major news. I'll give you a little teaser. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, that's all you need to say.
This is going to be big. And the legendary Laurel House.
Laura House. Love Laura House. My friend.
So excited that she's here.
Yes, my dating co-coach on Famously Single on E. And just the author of Screw the Rules. She's on KTL every morning. It's just fantastic. I love Laurel.
She's a hashtag man whisperer. But you know the routine here on Good Morning LaLaLand. We like to know, how do you start your day? Gorgeous, you've got the mic. Take it away.
Good morning. I start my day with prayer. I take a walk.
Smart woman.
Before my kids get up, because I got them to take care of in the morning. But I love to do meditation. I love to read a good, inspiring story, and I definitely love to pray. And I get a scripture sent to me every morning, so I always read that and internalize that.
That's beautiful. So before I pick up my phone, I meditate to myself. I'm grateful, and I proclaim my day. I'm going to have a great day.
Very good. I do the same. I have daily affirmations that I love to take to set the tone of my day, in addition to daily prayer.
Ooh.
Well, I'm glad I'm here with all the relationship ladies. I make coffee for my girlfriend and walk my dogs.
That's so romantic!
I feel like there's a lot of consistency here. I keep my eyes closed. I think, what do I want my day to feel like? And then I actually feel that in my day. Eyes closed also so that my 3-year-old son thinks I'm still asleep before he attacks me. And then go downstairs and make coffee, make him breakfast, and start the day.
Love it.
Hashtag mom hack.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being here and starting your day with us here at Good Morning LaLaLand today. We're so excited to talk to you more later in the show. I always start my day with a cup of coffee. Today, Hilltop Coffee is in the house.
So good.
Yes.
Man.
Thank you so much, Hilltop. It is coffee for the climb.
I didn't even realize I've known AJ for years. I had no idea. I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's so fun. Such a great community around here.
It is.
Absolutely. So what's going on today? Friday Feels. It is Emmy weekend. We're about to hit the Emmy gifting lounge. That's one of my favorite things. I love running around these places, and I'll tell you why. Not only is it fun just to like see everybody and be in community and celebrate, but it's great because we really get the opportunity to see firsthand some of the best new startup companies that are not only here locally in Los Angeles, but from around the country. People fly in with some of their sunglasses they want to share, or their designs, or their handmade candles. And it's really a neat opportunity because they share them with us so that we can share them with you. So be sure to tune in on Monday so you can see everything we got from today's gifting lounge.
Yeah, love the gifting lounge. It's so fun for me, for all those reasons, but mostly because I like to see how much fun you're having. That's fun for me.
It's like
Justin's having a blast.
Yeah. What is it, the Hilton? What's it called again? The hotel we're going to?
The Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hilton, yes. And then we have the Rock to Recovery on Saturday night. I've got 2 girlfriends coming down from Santa Barbara. We're going to maybe go hit a sauna, a Korean spa, you know.
Yeah.
The whole
Before you rock to recovery?
Well, we might go to SUR also. There's a brunch. You know, we've so many things going on this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to wear. That's what I know.
The itinerary is mind-blowing. You got to just get started right now. You're not going to make it to all the events.
Honestly, so true. So we want to do a little rewind back to yesterday. We had some phenomenal. It's been a really busy week. Let's take a look.
When you have something really hard to say and you don't know how to say it, call Rob. He'll give you the exact
45 days later, we will massage it into something that's perfect.
And it always starts with, I love that you say this, and you're so good at, like, always lead with the positive, right? And then slide it in there.
It's such a good point. But Jess, you guys both are such master communicators, and you have sort of different approaches and styles. And I have found, though, that is one of the best things you can do is sort of lead with positivity, lead with warmth and rapport.
There's been a very interesting shift that I've noticed because, you know, I've got this hour drive to work and I flip through the radio stations. I'm old school like that. And now there's a lot of like, hey, call in and tell us your happy news. And the rock stations, on the pop stations, hey, what are you celebrating today? Who can we call and say congratulations to? And I'm so excited because it does seem like there is a shift happening, at least here in Los Angeles.
I see it, and you guys are a pivotal part of that, and I hope that, you know, that just continues. I don't really see what good comes out of focusing on all those negative stories.
But I think that's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to find meaning, and we're all trying to find our truth. And in yoga, I'm a huge yoga person. It's called Dharma. It's your purpose. And it's something that's just within you. And I think especially in LA and just our society, it's hard. It's easy to get lost and very easy to lose ourselves. I loved what Tiffany was saying about just dropping back in and just everything she had to say. I was like, I love you.
We just love you.
Yeah, Gina, I mean, truly, we feel infinitely blessed by not just what you do, but who you are. And I mean that. Seriously, you have such a pure, generous spirit. And I just absolutely love you, and I really appreciate everything you've done for us, really, and continue to do for us. And I mostly want to focus on how excited we are for the next chapter in your life. Really, so congratulations.
Erin, I'm sorry there's no more room for you. My suitcase.
Just squeeze me in there. I can squeeze in there.
Gina, we love you.
We do love Gina.
We love you, Gina. We're going to miss you dearly.
Miss you already.
Absolutely, miss you already. Sending love and light for a safe journey to Arizona and on her way to some big things in Mexico. So we're really proud of her. What a great group of guests we had yesterday. Camille Montgomery, talented young actress. She's premiering at Shriek Fest with Sick for Toys, new feature. That was pretty cool. We got
Tiffany,
to talk to her.
amazing woman, extraordinary woman. I love her story. I love how she's like, look, I don't care about the glitz and glam of being a journalist. I care about having my passion and living a life that I love. So
yesterday was one of my favorite shows, I will say, but I do tend to say that after every single show. I'm like, wow, that was my favorite show. Like today, after today, I'll be like, this will be my favorite show. It's like every time. But it really was an incredible show. I mean, I think it's always surprising to me. You talk to an actress or you talk to somebody who's an entrepreneur and you don't realize the depth of who they are. I mean, both those women are so deep. All three really, Gina as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a little break. When we come back, I want to say hello to our next group of guests because we have so many guests on the show. And then we're going to get into the topic of love addiction. So stay tuned, you guys. We will be right back.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, associate producer here at Focus TV Network, America's first live streaming daily talk show network with my favorite girl.
I'm Jessica Lee, producer and co-host of Good Morning LaLaLand. So Victoria, tell me what happened this week in Focus?
So we had the Ren Wood Show
with the hilarious Ben Glebe.
Yeah, we had Mama Tix
with Harley Ruda, the potential next congressman of California.
Oh. We had Dr. Nina actually in the house.
It was an incredible show. Meredith O'Connor was here. You've definitely seen her on YouTube. And we also had Cole Woods, the modelpreneur.
We have two new exciting shows Some of them you may know from the Bachelor franchise. We had Josh Murray, Naked Chats. Yes, and
Josh Murray.
we had Demario Jackson in the hot seat.
We're so excited to welcome Lindsay Palis to the Focus family. She's got a new show, Eyes Up Here, and had a very special guest, Drama.
Speaking of Lindsay Palis, she was on Good Morning LaLaLand.
Yes, she was. We had a week full of very special guests. We also had a reality star from Real Housewives of Orange County, Gretchen Rossi.
Another Real Housewives of Orange County, we had Peggy Tanos.
And the jet guy, Hunter Gaylor. He is a man with a plan and a plane.
We had a special episode of Good Morning LaLaLand.
We did. It was co-hosted by Dr. Sandra Lee. You may know her as Dr. Pimple Popper. She brought in a slew of amazing industry guests. I'm so excited for you to take a look.
Have a divine day.
It's going to be a Good Morning LaLa. And of course, we have a lot of fun here at Focus TV. We have a blooper reel hosted by Brittany Zahn.
The change is starting happening. It's nope, bad take. Nope, nope. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I was talking to the guest. It's a little fast. Bet you don't have one of those in your phone. Nope. Andy's like, damn it, I'm doing things over here. Usually I'm a one-hit wonder with my videos, but right now, how many takes are we on, Andy? Woo! Okay. Think it's maybe take 12. Nope, messed up one word at the end. It's gonna drive me insane. Listen, I've never done so many takes in my life on one video. That was a good one. Good, you like that one? Are we gonna do a blooper reel? Andy's like, you're already on all of them.
Thank you so much for tuning into This Week in Focus.
We're hashtag community powered. Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. We're so excited you are with us today on hashtag Friday Feels, and we're talking a little love addiction.
I think it's interesting. You know, I actually did a podcast on this morning, and I've dealt with it over my life, and I think that there's a spectrum of what love addiction is, and I think it's one of the least talked about things in our culture.
I agree with you.
I mean, it's incredible. So, you know, you start, what?
It's interesting though, because if you think about it and you listen to basically any song that you've ever heard, 90% of them are about the pain of love, right?
Yes.
The chase, the heartbreak, the recovery, the getaway car, whatever it might be, right? It's all about love.
It's true. I think it's normalized, though. You're right. So that you're both right. So the love addiction is something that's become normalized.
Right.
It's what we expect from love. We expect the ups and downs and the craziness.
So true. So I think we first have to define what is love addiction. And love addiction is literally like there's different types of love addicts, but any time where you're pushing and pulling, you're either hoping and seeking like the one that's going to complete you, or you are constantly like looking for that new high of the oxytocin of the newness of a relationship, and then you get it and then you are like, well, you know, this is wrong with them or that's wrong with them. You're always like, there's fantasy addicts, people that are constantly thinking that there's some, you know, guy that's going to ride up on a, you know, a white horse or whatever it is. There's so many different things, but the bottom line is this: it's basically not being able to have it, not being able to not have it, and not being able to have it. It's a struggle. It's like any addiction, you're just constantly consumed by the thinking around it.
Yeah, it comes from a place of emptiness, right?
Yeah, for sure. So before we get into that, I think that we have I think this is a record day.
It is a record day.
I think we have an addiction to too many guests. But great guests.
Oh my gosh,
so many guests that we just love them so much.
We are open to receiving.
We are definitely open to all the inspiring stories. So I think we should invite our second guest before we get deeper into love addiction.
Good morning, get back there. Hello. We're so excited you're all with us today. Thank you for sharing your time, your talent, your delicious coffee, cocktails, and tacos with us today. We're really excited you're here. You've got the mic. If you wouldn't mind taking a moment to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you start your day.
My name is AJ Roland. I'm the co-founder and co-creator of Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen. When my toddler doesn't wake me up super early, I wake up around 5:30 a.m. I make it a point to meditate for 20 minutes before hitting the gym. And then I come home and I cook breakfast for my daughter and my wife.
Love it.
What about you, chef? How do you start your day?
Yeah, my name is Jason Fulilabov. I'm the chef of Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen. I start my day with a nice pot of French press coffee, play with my dogs. I go work out for about an hour and start working.
Hi, I'm Brett Thompson. I'm the chef and owner of Pez Cantina and Milk Ice Cream. Yeah, I definitely start off with some coffee, and my responsibility in the morning is getting the boys breakfast. I got 2 sons, so getting them breakfast and lunch and getting them out to school.
Chef, what do you have for breakfast, though? I was wondering that. I'm like, does the chef actually cook for himself?
He's gonna top himself every day.
You know what? Honestly, my go-to is cereal.
Stop.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but or you know, protein pancakes, or a smoothie. Actually, my kids love smoothies, so it's pretty simple around the house.
Well, then today is extra special because Chef Jason brought some really great stuff, some great breakfast items from Hilltop this morning. So we'll be sure you get a proper breakfast this morning.
Hi, I'm Rosie Acosta. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher and host of Radically Loved Radio. And my morning ritual starts with yoga and meditation. So cliche. But I wake up and I have to have a morning practice. It's part of what keeps me going throughout the day. And then I have a tea ritual that I do, and then I can get my day started.
So zen. I'm already feeling radically loved.
Are you?
I am. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
Right, so back to Friday Feels, dating, love, and relationship. What is love addiction? Just diving into it. You know, I personally dealt with it a lot in my 20s. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really realize that it was an addiction. I thought it was normal. Like you said, like I think it was just a normal thing. It was just what I had seen people do. It was what I had seen in the movies and all the above, and I thought it was normal. I thought it was normal to be constantly seeking for that one, and then finding something wrong with every single relationship, and you know, having it break up, and then it was just it was just not functional. But then I got into a very dysfunctional relationship with an actual addict, and that's when it really went to another level, where I became kind of like obsessed with the push and pull and the breaking up and getting back together. And it was disabilitating. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I had to get help. I had to go into the 12-step for it and break that cycle and kind of look at it. But it was the blessing that had me do my ultimate work of self-love.
Wow.
But I think it's so many different. I mean, there's sex addicts. There's people that just literally are just their whole life is contingent upon finding that one. It is an addiction for a lot of people.
I love that you put it that way, because I think finding that one with a capital O, one, I think that's essentially God, or that's the self, right? Like that's what it's all about. And so I think that in a strange way, the world is like the seductive trap that encourages you to go out into the world to like basically become whole or become happy, but it ultimately always leads you back to yourself, because you realize the futility of seeking for things outside of yourself, you know, when they actually exist within.
For sure,
right?
for sure.
But it's really interesting because I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of a chase, right? And searching and exploring and trying to find somebody you do want to share your life with, right? So at what point then does it cross the line between the normal, healthy chase and trying to find love to becoming an addict? What is that?
I'd say the difference is, and I want to hear Dr. Erin's perspective, but I would say the difference is, there's a difference between sort of the pursuit of happiness and the happiness of pursuit. If you're enjoying just the experience from a moment-to-moment basis, that's one thing. But I would say, for the most part, addictions bring out the pain that's already inside of you, so it becomes an increasingly painful experience. And you know, I think that's the difference. Are you living from a place of sort of wholeness and completeness, where you're coming from love and you're enjoying the pursuit itself, or the experience of life moment to moment?
I think the definition of addiction is it affecting your work? Is it affecting your other relationships? Are you one of those people that, like, when, you know, we all have those friends that when they get in relationship, they let all other relationships go. All of a sudden they let go a lot of things. They're not taking care of their business. They're not taking care of themselves. They, you know, a lot of codependency is love addiction as well. Like, so do they give up their own needs, their own self-care in order to please this person? So it comes in all forms. The bottom line, are you thriving in your life, or is it bringing you down?
Are you happy?
Are you happy?
It's so simple at the end of the day. Does it make you happy or not?
Well, but I think the problem is a lot of times that's their happiness, right? And so a lot of people don't even realize. I know in my earlier 20s, I didn't even realize that I was addicted to it, because that's what was feeding me. That's what made me feel love and validation. It was coming through another person. It wasn't until you wake up, you do a little self-work, you get a little older, and you realize, oh, wow, I can't get this love and fulfill all these needs through this one person. That's going to debilitate the whole relationship. And I didn't even realize that that would be even considered an addiction or a codependency, because I just thought that was what you did in a relationship.
And that's such a great point. I think, we're often too unconscious to know we're unconscious.
Yeah.
It's like you're sleeping, so you don't know you're
Bottom
sleeping
line
type
is,
experience.
no one thinks they're a love addict.
Right.
If you're
That's the
like, yeah, you might want to consider it. Like, I mean, I always remember like one day being like, oh, I'm actually maybe have this thing called love addiction. I was like, no, it was them. That's their problem. If they changed, then I wouldn't be reacting like this. If they were whatever, then I wouldn't have to, whatever. Like, no, that's when as soon as you point the finger, that's when you might have an issue.
It's so funny. I had a client yesterday ask me a question. He essentially said to me, I think I might be going a little crazy. Like, am I going crazy, Robin? I said, the fact that you're asking the question means that you're not. Because if you're truly crazy, you're not aware that you're crazy. That's the beauty of being crazy, of not being,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're not crazy. Yeah.
I wonder that all the time. It's so reassuring.
It's like the same question that you have. Like, I remember being like 20 and like meeting this incredible girl, and I remember she said to me, like, I love you. And of course, I wasn't ready, so I didn't say anything back. I was kind of like, thank you, or whatever. It was so terrible. It was terrible. But I was like, I didn't want to lie, but I didn't want to. I was like, what do you say? So then I remember like really saying, I got to figure this out, like explore this. Am I in love with this girl or not? And I suddenly had this realization that like if I'm asking the question, I'm not. You don't ask, when you're in love or when you're happy, you stop asking the question, am I in love? Am I happy?
Great distinction.
Right?
Such a great distinction.
You stop asking the question. So if you're asking the question, you're not. Crazy or in love. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Man,
hashtag Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. I love this conversation, and I think it's such a deep conversation that our entire culture needs to take a look at. But I know for me, it's just getting back to always remembering it's a daily spiritual practice. It's not like you arrive like, woohoo, one day I'm just free of all of it. You like have to check. I got to check myself. Like, am I getting compulsive around certain things? Am I letting my friendships go? Am I texting compulsively? Where is that, and where's that line? And it's an individual, practice.
How do you find that place, Erin? Like, how do you realize where the line is for you? Like, does it come through meditation? Does
If I have peace within, or if I don't.
There you go.
That's my litmus test. Period. End of story.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of end of story, let's take a break so we can get to all of our guests' amazing stories. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Good morning, La La Land.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Packrat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome to the very first episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie. Welcome, Daniel Hall. First episode.
I didn't even realize it was your first episode.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Erin Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and calling, and I have Elle Russ in the house. Thank you so much for coming all the way down here today.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tara Tanner, and this is the Model Mama Show. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Chelsea Cannell-Briggs, who this is literally a blast from the past. You guys,
It's true.
We haven't seen each other since we worked together at Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I am
say it.
excited and delighted because we we have an amazing guest. So thank you, Jeannie, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of both of you. I'm Jessamine Mollier, and this is LA Unscripted, and I'd love to welcome to my show Mr. Jacques Silverstein. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my great pleasure to be with you.
This is somebody who went from super nerd to supermodel, so I'm so excited. Let's talk to Anna.
Yes.
Anna, you were the winner of our very first Viva Glam model search.
Yeah, you guys were actually my very first photo shoot.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reshape. I'm Allie Landry, and I am so thrilled to have our next guest. So I am so grateful that you are here with us at Reshape today.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so happy to see you. And you couldn't look more gorgeous if you tried.
Today's guest is best known for being the fitness guru on 6 seasons of The Biggest Loser. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Dolvet. Dolvet, we don't even say Quince anymore. It's just Dolvet. It's like
one name.
Dolvet.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. We have perfect lighting. We've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having
me. Of course.
Hello and welcome to The Joe Show. I'm Josephine, and here on our couch today is none other than the heartthrob of Shahs of Sunset, Shervin.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ren Wood Show. I am so excited for my guest today. I have the beautiful Bianca Hayes. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. Give me a hug.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
You have seen our next guest on E! News, Access Hollywood, and of course, famously single, she's a dating coach and author. Laura House is in the house.
So nice to finally meet you in person.
I know.
You're like
I've
family
been
that
hearing
we've never
so much
met.
about you. I know.
Well, you are pretty much a living legend around the Focus TV studio.
Oh my
God. By the way,
Wow.
anytime somebody says dating, love, relationships, your name comes up first thing.
Wow. Well, I love Andy. So shout out to we have a history.
Yeah, our executive producer, Mr. Andy Wallman. But what is your history with dating, love, and relationships? How did you become a hashtag man whisperer?
Well, experience, first of all. I've had extensive dating and relationship experience. I've been proposed to 10 times.
Stop it.
I am married to my 3rd husband. But my first 2 marriages were at 21 and then at 23, and I divorced at 27. So I'm now 40. I've had some time to figure it out and analyze myself, and I've written books about it. I've written for Playboy and FHM and Men's Journal about sex and dating, and then started to give my own advice. I was giving advice on YouTube, and people were contacting me all the time and wanting free advice, which I was giving hours and days and weeks, and realized I think I should start charging for this. Then I would have clients, and I was able to get into the male and female mind and sort of translate what people were saying, thinking, feeling, doing, and clients started calling me Man Whisperer. So then I started Man Whisperer podcast with Rob as my co-host, and
You know
that's
what I
sort
love?
of how it happened.
I love that in today's world, it used to be the standard that you could only be a relationship expert if you were like in a 40-year marriage and da-da-da-da. And today, this is way more the trend, because how would you know? How would you understand
That's exactly
what was going on?
I have clients who will come to me, and when I was single, they would say, well, why would I want to work with you? You're not a therapist. At that point, I wasn't married. I had been in so many relationships. Why would I want to work with you? And I said, I've experienced all of it. I know how it feels. And more than that, I've then done the work. I'm one of the more analytical, self-analytical people I know.
Love that about you, by the way. Yeah.
I dig into me, I analyze me, and then I analyze other people and situations. So because of that, I know what you're going through. I know what everyone is going through, because I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it, I've felt it. I've felt the shame, the heartache, the insecurity, the trauma.
Yeah. I hear you,
and
sister.
then I can share.
Yeah. I'm tired. So we want to talk a little bit more about love addiction. What's your take on it?
So I thought what you guys were saying was very interesting and on point, and I wanted to add an additional thing. I don't know that it's only people looking for the one. I think that they're looking for a feeling.
100% agree.
For sure. That's the addiction, is that it's that feeling something, and they're applying the feeling onto a person, and that feeling might not only be the high and the excitement, it might be the calm. For people who actually know what a real healthy, sustainable relationship looks and feels like, it is the calm after the storm. It is the exhale. And I think a lot of people who are obsessed with the feeling of love are actually searching for that calm.
I 100% agree with you, Laurel. Like, I feel that what most people are searching for is the feeling of themselves. That's with a capital S, the feeling of that state of being that exists within them at all times, that is them at all times when they let go of the thoughts.
Yes. Yeah, and that comes after all of the excitement and beginning crazy of the relationship. Then you have the actual relationship with the other person, with yourself, where you can dig in and root and be good. And people, that stage of the relationship comes so much later that I think that we get caught up in relationship stage number 3, which is the confusion, the freak out, and then we jump out because we didn't ever get to relationship phase number 4, which is understanding and calm and being good together.
Well,
and that could be a problem.
Very curious, what are these relationship stages? Because in my mind, it was like, you know, super hot first 3 months, awkward 3 months after that, then like are we really going to commit to this moment, and then the breakup. In my mind, that's how it's always worked.
Right, the breakup is the third stage. That is the confusion, and that's the reality of life. That's the, you know, wait, we're different individuals trying to make this work. And then we move into number 4, which is the, okay, we've gone through this tumultuous time. Now we understand each other. Now we get who we are as individuals and how we can work together. We're finding the calm. And then number 5 is, all right, we're good together. We have this solid foundation. We have a trust. We can lean on each other. We can now be enduring. So the beginning 2 phases are what you were saying, the excitement, the oh my gosh, this is so great and cool and feels good and is a ride. Yeah. And then we go down into the freak out session and then the calm.
And we lose all the non-committals in the freak out section. Like stage number 2. But
I have so many clients who will say, you know, there's something wrong with my relationship. It's not exciting anymore. We just sit there and we're together. I'm like, yay! That's what you want. You don't need the drama. And I have clients who create the drama because they're searching for that feeling, and so they go and they fight for absolutely no reason.
Just to feel alive.
To feel that hit, that drug, because, you know, chemistry actually shows in the brain in the same location as cocaine, so it gives you that you're actually on drugs.
Yeah.
You are on the drug of love, which is not love. People are chasing that feeling of chemistry, and if that goes away, which it will go away, and it actually doesn't often happen in relationships, when it goes away, then they're searching for feeling again, and they're mistaking feeling for love.
That's where I think that it's so important to have your own hobbies, your own purpose and calling, because it's not, like for me, what I used to do was I would look to whoever is in a relationship for my entertainment, to be my best friend, to be my lover, to be all
one-stop shop for happiness.
Yes, the poor guy. I mean, honestly.
No one person can be absolutely everything for you. And a lot of people feel like that's the problem in their relationship too. Well, he's not my best friend. Well, he doesn't like to do stuff with me. Well, of course not. He's not going to be everything. No. That's why you have your mom, your best friend, your assistant, whoever.
But that's why you have to
add.
You have to maintain those relationships.
Yes.
But what happened also, and I'm sure you see this, where people just, their universe gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and because they just stop hanging out with friends, they stop doing whatever because they're just like enmeshing with this person. So what do you recommend for people?
Well, simultaneously, you do need to make sure that relationship is the priority. So a lot of people will think, well, I want to keep my life, my full life, and then your partner doesn't feel like a priority. So they feel like, well, you're always going out with your friends and you never have time for me. You're always going out with other people, and what am I? So it is sometimes a peeling back and reprioritizing and maybe detoxing your personal life of the people who aren't that important, but were just there to fill space. Because you were alone. So it's being really honest with yourself of what do I actually need? What are my priorities? What are my main relationships? The people who are happiest, it's been shown, have the least amount but closest good friends. Whereas the people who have a ton of good friends are actually not as fulfilled and happy in their lives.
Totally.
So figure out, you know, like me, my mom is my best friend. I have a couple of good friends. I have my husband, I have my son, those are my people and my job.
Yeah, like inner circle. Like how much time do you have for deep, deep relationships?
But that deep is what is the difference though. Yeah. A lot of people don't have deep relationships. They have lots of relationships, but they don't have relationships where you can really be yourself. And that's the difference. So it's paring down and focusing on the priorities.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting though in looking at that, because for me in my life, I've gone into new relationships. I get scared about compromising and sacrificing because I don't want to sacrifice any of my life or my people or my career, right?
Yeah.
But I recognize there's a need to compromise in that. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh,
That word just doesn't. I want it all and I want to give it all.
I totally disagree with compromise.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. Feels start to panic right away.
Oh my gosh, I know. The problem with compromise for me is it's giving up. And it's letting go of something in yourself. Instead, I believe in meshing, in coming to an understanding, in expanding your perspective. So
like
two
this.
people,
Okay.
Rob and I have very different perspectives around life. If we are in a relationship and we're not getting along about something, it's not like, okay, well, let's just compromise and I'm going to drop whatever it is that and you have to drop part of what you did too. So
I give you half, you give me half, we each have half.
Well, we're both going to be not happy.
Right.
So instead, it's what's your perspective? Oh, that's interesting. Let me see if your perspective, let me try on your perspective a little bit and see if that will make sense in my perspective too. And if we get to a point where we are just so different in our value and our belief and our whatever it is, sometimes it is just okay, we have different perspectives, we have different understandings, we have different priorities here, and we're going to have to agree to disagree. And sometimes it's me, and sometimes it's you, but it's not going to be a little bits and pieces of a compromise.
It's a great question, Jess. Really is. I think a lot of people struggle with that one.
Yeah, because they feel like they are half themselves and half happy all the time.
And that just creates so much resentment.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Because then people start like looking at it as a bank account. Well, I'm giving, I'm giving, I'm giving, I'm giving. Where are you giving? You're just taking, taking, taking.
Exactly.
And now we're constantly in our mind, well, I compromised last time. Well, when are you going to compromise instead of coming together?
That's why I think, and this is going to be a radical position I'm taking, and it's fine. But you can send the DMs to Erin and Jesslyn, and I'll check mine. So, but I would say I've almost discovered that it's easier to be loving and to be loved and to feel love when I'm single, because I give everyone their freedom. Everybody gives me their freedom. And I think over time, as I've sort of practiced that in my single life, when I go into a relationship, it's easier to do it there too.
Yeah.
But I can see the ways in which a relationship both can offer up these limitations in lots of ways, but it can also offer up incredible opportunity to express and enjoy your freedom.
But this brings a great topic. In love addiction, there's a thing called anorexic. Someone who avoids intimacy because it's easier. So where is it where, like someone who's spiritual that's advanced, like going, I choose to do this, versus someone who is an avoidant?
Well, let's look at Rob as an example.
Oh,
because
let's not look at Rob.
I do not think that Rob is emotionally
I don't either.
anorexic in any capacity. So I think that it is, yes, if they are deciding to not have any emotionally intimate relationships and they're walking around as icebergs and not connecting. Rob is the opposite. Rob has intimate relationships with everyone who you're close with. And anyone who comes into contact with you, they have an intimate relationship with you in the moment. I mean, like yesterday when we were recording the show, and Thomas Edwards, who's another dating coach who's been on the show, is here. Yeah. And afterwards, I was like, gosh, Rob and Thomas are like super good friends. They've obviously known each other forever, considering the conversation that they were having after. It was the first time they had a real conversation in person. It's just that Rob goes into that real intimacy, depth, connection. So if you are getting the connection that you need from other relationships and you're happy and satisfied in yourself and you have the feelings that you're searching for in life, because that's what we're looking for a feeling.
Yeah.
Then, you know, if you don't need that relationship and
I
you
agree.
want it, then
I think if it was consuming his thoughts and he was, you know, resisting it because he's like, oh, I just can't deal with that. Oh, I can't, whatever. Then that would be what I would consider an
There's no
anorexic.
excuses here. There's no
You're in
trying
peace.
to.
If you're in peace, you're not.
That's what I was saying before. I totally agree. If you feel good, you're not questioning, am I happy? Then you're good. You don't need the relationship.
It's one of the things I truly love so much about you, Laurel, is that, like, you know, you have been so honest in this journey. I mean, you really have. You've been so incredibly transparent with folks. You've been so incredibly authentic. And because of that, and you've looked really deep and you've explored.
Yeah.
And I like that you're able to share and you're able to do something really magnificent, which is you're able to share the truths you've discovered in ways that are really accessible that people can immediately understand and apply in their lives.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about you.
So one last question.
Yeah.
So let's pretend somebody's in that stage 3, because we've all been there. The egos are battling. You're like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this?
Yeah.
How do we break through those walls?
Well, first you have to look at the reality of the situation. So are you having conflict and resistance and issues with each other because your values and your lifestyles are different? If your values and your lifestyles are fundamentally different, it is not going to work. Don't fight through it. You know, and oftentimes that will happen because in phase 1 and 2, it's fun, it feels good, it's exciting, you like the feelings, and you're not looking at the reality of life with them. So stage 3, reality of life hits, and wait, does this make sense with me? If it does still make sense with you, their values, their lifestyle, then try and figure out how to have an understanding, how to communicate through it. Sometimes communication styles are completely different with people, and you need to figure out how to come together. Sometimes get a coach, go to a therapist, you know, do whatever it is, go on a retreat, do something that's going to help you to get onto the same communication style page and move forward. But you have to be first really honest with yourself. And one thing that Rob always says is without any judgment. So look at yourself quietly, no judgment, and just think, does this person actually make sense in my life? Or do I just want it so badly? You know, do I just so badly want to get to stage 5 because I want to get to that calm, and that's what I've been seeking, when they are just not a fit. And when you look at yourself and realize, I have compromised myself, I don't recognize me, or I don't like me with this person, I'm not happy in who I am with this person, I don't like how I am parenting, I don't like how I am with my friends, I am ashamed oftentimes when I wake up because when I'm with them I do things that I regret, then they are not a fit for you. So yes, you can have differences in core values and lifestyles if they still mesh with yours, if you can respect each other's, if you can communicate and understand each other's. But if you can't, then it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Great advice.
Great
That's why
advice.
we love Laurel.
Thank you
So you
so
gotta
much
watch
for being
her
here.
podcast. Listen to her podcast.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
Pick up the book,
Yeah.
Screw the Rules. Where can people find
Yes.
everything about you, Laurel?
You can go to my website, laurelhouse.com or manwhisperer.com. You can find me on YouTube at Dating Laurel. You can find me on Instagram at Laurel House, and then on iTunes and everywhere else with podcasts, Man Whisperer.
Love it.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Thank
so
you so
appreciate
much.
you, Laurel.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Fantastic. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. On this Friday Feels, we're so honored to have Eddie Perez in the house. You're an Emmy winner?
Yes.
Wow, tell us a little bit about that.
I won 2 Emmys for Shameless, Showtime show.
Mhm.
Might have heard of it.
Yeah, might have
Pretty-
heard of it.
yeah.
We have 5 seasons, one of the best shows.
Sure, on 9.
9!
9. Jess, you
Yeah,
gotta catch
we're
up.
shooting season 9.
Gotta catch
What happened to me? Wow.
You must be doing a morning show every single morning.
Right?
Exactly,
You have a
exactly.
great story, though. You were like a security guard, right?
Yeah, I
Gone?
was a bodyguard for Pink Floyd.
I bet you have some good stories.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock, Sylvester Stallone. So, yeah, that was my first job.
How did it transition into?
I also went to school for personal training, and I would train actors how to fight. And they started saying, "Hey, you're better than some of the guys we're working with. So why aren't you doing it?" And I said, "I don't know. Why am I not?" So I figured I'd do a little transition.
Wow.
Well, and you've transitioned seamlessly.
Yeah, it's some days, yes.
And
some
shamelessly.
Yeah, shamelessly, yes, I have. Yes, very
Well,
much so.
rumor has it you've got an incredible new project coming up with Mr. Quentin Tarantino. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was an interesting. Zoe Bell, who's a stunt coordinator, and she's been in a lot of his movies, brought me in to do a stunt. And once I got in wardrobe and everything, Quentin said, "Oh, no, you're not doing that. You're doing something. I'm going to write you in." So he wound up writing me in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you feel like when Quentin Tarantino says, "I'm going to write you into my movie"? That is huge.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the scene I'm working with a lot of actors that are name actors, and then it was just like me, and I was just kind of laughing about it because it's kind of like, they're like, "We auditioned, he wrote you in." I was like, yeah, and he made it a point of saying like, "Hey, I saw him and I wrote him in," so it was really nice of him.
Absolutely. It's very fitting to the title of the film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
that's a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood kind of moment right
Yeah,
there.
it was very much so, and I'm very appreciative and very happy to be in his movie. It's really cool.
It's so interesting to me because as you describe your journey, it seems like it all happens so seamlessly and so effortlessly and so enjoyably. Is that the case?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's work, as you all know. You see the accolades and you see the things you do, but I always say my time off is my worst time because you're constantly trying to get the next job. Yeah. I'm very fortunate to be on Shameless now. I've been there 7 seasons, so it's been my home and my family. But the time off in between doing other stuff is, what you spend time trying to
Is that
move forward.
been the greatest challenge of your career and your journey? Is sort of like doing something about that time in between? What has been the greatest challenge for you, personally and professionally, would you say?
My greatest challenge, just keeping the momentum going for everyone. I think everyone has a momentum of what's next, and we all evolve. So now I'm trying to pursue more directing, so that's kind of like the next step. Just as you do things, you go, it was great. Let me try this. Let me try that.
So what do you think your mission is with all this?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. I just want to give back now, and you know, for some of the younger stunt people now, also them realizing when they come up to me and say, you know, I watched you as a kid. I was like, ooh, does that mean I'm getting old? Or, you know, and it's just to talk to them and tell them how to pursue and how to move forward. So it's, and you know, I've been going to some of the inner city schools, being Hispanic and what, you know, it's. I never realized it, but what an influence it has on the kids to see someone that looks like them that's actually being successful.
What tips do you give those kids, or really anybody who wants to do what you're doing?
Train hard and know what you do, and you know, we're in a great time now that our cell phones, you can shoot your own stuff, so it's to create your own content. I mean, it's a wonderful place to be at. I wish that would have happened 20 years ago when I started. Who knows how different it'd be, but it's good to have it.
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
Who have been your mentors along the way?
My first mentor was Taylor Hackford, Academy Award-winning director. He was the one that actually put me in a film and got me working and let me spend the whole movie with them, just kind of following him. So I've always been very grateful, and also hated him for that. So it's been a double-edged sword.
It's a love-hate relationship with Hollywood. But what do you love about what you do?
I love just creating something and watching how it affects people. Like when you sit in a theater and sit in the back and watch people laugh at stuff or things you do, you kind of go, okay, you accomplished something.
Well, there must be something that incredibly powerful about you and when you do that performance, because Quentin Tarantino wrote you into his film. What is it about you, do you think?
God, if you can find out, let me know. I just do what I do, and I love it so much that I think hopefully my passion carries through. I'm obsessive, a little OCD about when I work. I want perfection, and hopefully that carries out.
What does that perfection feel like to you? I mean, when you do this incredible stunt, and I mean, you're in a scene with some of the most recognizable actors and celebrities, what does that feel like?
I get focused. Like some people say, stunt people or whatever, adrenaline junkies. We're actually, a lot of us are focus oriented. Like, I'm so focused, I don't even see what's going on around me because I know I have to get from A to B.
My bracelet right here, focus.
Yeah, we don't know anything about focus here.
Exactly, yeah. Nothing about that. Shameless plug.
Yeah. That's good. I love it. Well, where can people find you?
My reels are on www.eddieperez.info, and I'm on Instagram, I am Eddie Perez, and Facebook as well, I am Eddie Perez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're looking forward to seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are celebrating #Wealth Wednesday in house today. We've got Miss Annalyn McCord and an angel himself, Mr. Matt Thompson. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
We had the honor of going to one of the Tech Coast Angel events, and it was truly one of the most inspiring things I've done in Los Angeles. I feel like I'm in entrepreneur night school.
The Tech Coast Angels is sort of like Shark Tank. We'll have a big auditorium, and then the entrepreneur will go up on stage and pitch their idea for 10 minutes. And then at the end of that, we'll decide, do we put in $500,000 or do we let's show them to the door?
So I've got a few ideas.
Yeah. Good time.
We're really at the very beginning of a huge tidal wave, I believe, in the startup and angel funding.
It's huge. Hulu and Netflix and Maker Studio was in full screen and all these great...
Focus TV.
Focus
right?
TV.
Tell you guys that I am a huge fan of the show, and I think that you're by far the best looking, most beautiful morning show I have ever seen. I mean, you're gorgeous. And no, seriously, I mean, the impeccable dress. You guys are, and it's such an intelligent show. It's a show that inspires others, and I love your conversation, manifesting, making people feel good. It's really inspirational, and I'm really excited to see everything that happens with this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to echo Kevin's thoughts as well, because it is wonderful to see such positivity on TV. And like you were saying, relationships, it's your circle of influence, that starts your day off right, that, influences everything that you do. So I absolutely love the content, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It's #Friday Feels, and we have got the host of Radically Loved, in the house. You might have seen her on Jesse Golden's show, full of golden rules, but now we get her on Good Morning LaLaLand. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
We're talking love addiction. Have you ever been addicted to love?
I don't actually, I'm not sure. I've been in a relationship for 15 years, so I'm very familiar with all of the things, especially, you know, sort of everything that you go through with growing and learning from each other. And as a yoga teacher and as a coach, I get to work with a lot of people that are in relationships and go through a lot of the things that Dr. Erin was talking about. So it's quite interesting to just kind of see the dynamic of how relationships are evolving now with social media and dating apps and, you know, all of these.
Intense,
it's so intense, yeah. And just, you know, being in a relationship long term. So I think I've learned a lot, quite a bit.
Well, I think you've become quite an expert on the subject, but it's really interesting too in talking about love addiction and being radically loved, right?
Yeah.
How would you tell people to radically love on themselves?
Well, I think a lot of it just starts with, you know, checking in and being able to tune into where you are and what you're wanting to create for your life. It's like everything that you guys have been talking about, like really having the awareness to look within and ask yourself, you know, what makes you happy, what you're looking for, how can you create a life of fulfillment within yourself as opposed to wanting somebody else to fill that void for you.
I mean, that's the ultimate yoga, right? And I think that in our country, a lot of people don't even know that yoga is a spiritual thing. They think it's a physical workout, and that's fine, but yoga is a full merging of the higher self and lower self, which is really the ultimate love. And so how do you bring those distinctions in?
Yeah,
during
no, I
your
think
classes?
it's so important. And I feel like, look, I'm of the mindset that everything is yoga. I'm not the person that's like, oh, that's not yoga. I understand that for a lot of people, you know, goat yoga might be a gateway to like the more spiritual elements of the practice. But yeah, yoga means union, right? It means to join, and it's all part of the collective, the tapestry of everyone's individuality and bringing it all together. And so I really feel like it's one of the most important things for me, just as a teacher and a yogi, to bring into my classes and to my podcast and trainings and everything that I do, because I feel like that's the ultimate practice, right? It's to be able to have that spiritual connection with something bigger than yourself.
Just love that. I totally agree that the world is the mat. The world is your mat.
Yeah.
How would you define love? Because I think that in of itself, I have a good psychologist friend, Dr. Ramani Devasa. She's been on the show before, and she said, you know, something really profound. She said, I've discovered that a lot of the challenges that people have in relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic or professional, is that they define love differently. So when I say, I love you, what do I mean? When you say you love me, what do you mean? And people actually sometimes have radically different definitions of love. So for you, what is love? And I know it's a big question.
I mean, I'm of the mindset that we're all loved, right? So that's what radically loved comes from. It's from this idea that we are all radically loved and held by a higher power source, baby Buddha, whatever higher power of your understanding, where the universe works for us and not against us. And so for me, love means to be of service. It means to be in the service of somebody else, to actually be fully present and to care for somebody just as I would care for myself. You know, a lot of the times we confuse loving somebody with giving everything and making sure that they're happy, you know, that selfless act. And I think that being of service doesn't necessarily mean you have to just care about other people and not care about yourself. I think being of service means being of service to something bigger than yourself.
I love that. Ramana Maharshi once said that the highest form of love or service is self-realization or self-abidance.
Yeah.
Right? It's a perfect.
So tell us, so you've been with your partner or married for 15 years?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
She's probably watching this right now.
Yeah.
We've been together for 15 years. We just recently got engaged earlier this year.
Congratulations.
And thank you.
So what do you do? Because I mean, it's not like you get to some place, I imagine, in a relationship where it's just all good all the time. Like everyone has things that come up. So how do you deal with it? How do you personally deal with that? How do you check in with your practice and how do you deal with that?
Like, how do I react in the moment, or like once I've reflected?
Yeah.
You know, in the moment, I'm human. Regardless of how long I've been practicing yoga or meditating, I can be a little bit spastic sometimes, especially when I don't get my way or my point isn't coming across. But I've always believed that I always have to consider that the other person may be right. So the way that I check in is like, I know that I am firm in my resolve, but there's like a 1 or 5% chance that I could be wrong. So I always leave a little bit of space for that, and then most of the time, once I'm able to reflect, I can see if I was being a little bit reactive or if I was the one that was, you know, causing an issue. I'm so lucky. I mean, he is so even keeled, and I always say he's more of a yogi than I'll ever be, you know, because he's just very grounded, and you know, we're very lucky.
You know, I came to the epiphany that you can be in an argument and everyone can be right, you know?
Oh, totally.
Like, there's no right or, it's just literally like there's really just a communication gap majority of the time. So how do you do that? In the heated moment, it's sometimes really hard.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the yoga practice for you in your relationship? How do you come back together? How do you communicate with it, not escalating again?
Yeah, well, I feel especially after being together for so long, we started dating when I was 20. You know, so, you know, I'm 35 now, and there's a lot of changes that happen when you're in your 20s, and you know, all of those things. And I feel like for us, we've always been really big on communicating and talking things out. And there have been times where we've had to actually ask for a third party's opinion, because we can't sometimes, you know, come to an agreement, or you know, we change the things that we want in a relationship, and it evolves. And I think knowing that just as individuals we evolve with the time, that our relationship does the same. But I think ultimately, when two people have the same goal to be in a relationship and to have it be successful, regardless of what you're not getting or what's different or what you want your other person to change, because you know, we're always right. I think that if two people have the same goal to create a life together and to come back to, you know, an even space or equanimity, then everything can be worked out.
Love that.
Yeah.
That gives a lot of people hope.
Well, I'm a believer. I'm like team love. You know? And I've
We're all team love.
Yeah,
here.
right. And I've worked with people that are, you know, in the brink of almost getting a divorce, and look, I can relate to those feelings. I'm sure we all can relate to. There's a moment in a relationship where you can make a choice, right? There's just that moment where you can say, I can either choose to work this out, or I can choose to not work it out.
Yeah, and that's why I think, and I'm not going to ever stop saying it, even if it annoys people, is that like there's such a difference between focusing on the form that love takes and focusing on love. The form that love takes is the relationship, and we get sometimes so attached to it and it going a certain way, whereas if we were to commit to love itself and just being love itself, despite how the relationship turns out, what form it takes, whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic, I think that in of itself is a greater solution than to trying to like force this relationship to be something that it may not be meant to be.
Yeah, release the expectations of that, and forgive yourself, forgive the other person for not meeting those expectations.
Well, and I think that too, that's where the yoga comes in, right? Because yoga is all about diminishing the ego and getting to a place where you're not so attached, right? So, you know, the Buddhists believe that we suffer because we become attached, right? So we're attached to a person, a result, a certain way of being, and I feel like when you have that you know, concrete way of being, it makes it really difficult to go around it or to learn different ways to manage or to come to a solution. You know?
It's one of the reasons I love A Course in Miracles so much, because right, it's such a right. They've done such a great job of sort of defining that ego as essentially fear, and that at the end of the day, there's only love, and then there's a call to love. The fear itself is a call to love, and that's the dropping of the ego. I love the way you described it, though, in terms of attachment.
Yeah.
So how can people work with you? What does it look like for them to work with you?
Well, I work, you know, as a life coach or a spiritual counselor or a yoga teacher. Usually they'll come to me with something that they're wanting to create, or if they're in a relationship, maybe they're wanting a little bit of insight, and that's all that I provide. You know, I'm a big fan of like, get a coach, a teacher, your therapist, like have a team of people to come help you, you know, in this. But I use my podcast as a platform to, you know, talk to all of these different subjects and, you know, guests that I have on. You know, we try to bring all these elements together. And so, you know, I work with people individually or, you know, on retreats, which you guys were talking about earlier, you know, with couples, they can go together as, you know, a retreat to reconnect. So, yeah, there's different ways.
Love you, love your work.
Yeah, thank you for all your time and service,
so much.
helping us feel radically loved. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more. Good morning, La La Land. Drum roll, please. Part of the Focus TV family, Ms. Kelly Gores is gracing the cover this month. She is the filmmaker behind the Heal documentary. We have a very special interview with Mr. Mark Teschner, Ellen Rakieten, and of course some incredible people. We have a special video about it as well. It's very near and dear to my heart because this issue I actually was the managing editor.
You did so much work, Jazz.
Yeah,
big shout out to Andy and you and everyone that's been involved for sure.
Thank you, Andy, for the opportunity to be such an active part in this community.
Speaking of empowerment, Jeslyn, you crushed it.
Right?
Wow,
Boy.
thanks, Rob.
You are a power player, girl.
I really appreciate that. I couldn't do it without the both of you. You are my enlightenment. You are my life school every morning. So thank you for letting me be a part of your community.
So for people that haven't seen the documentary, let's just give them a little like overview of what is the documentary. We're going to show the trailer in a minute, but from your perspective, tell them a little bit about it.
Yes. So the film, the film is basically showing people how incredible the body is and how we're designed to heal, and how big of an impact our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have on our physical body. So as you guys were mentioning before, those 9 healing essentials that people, you know, tapped into, only 2 of them are physical. The rest were mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that I look at as kind of the ratio for what you need. If you want to heal physically, you really need to bring in the emotional and mental factors. You know, and we see it in the placebo effect, how what you believe affects your biochemistry and your physiology. So belief and the mind-body connection is very powerful.
Good morning, La La Land, and we have the huge honor of being with Lillian Garcia.
Oh my God.
This month, gracing the cover of the Influence issue
Look at
of
that.
Focus magazine. Thank you so much for being
It's a beautiful
here.
picture.
So gorgeous.
Holy crow. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is really crazy. I mean,
it's beautiful.
You guys
picture.
have no idea what this means to me.
It does?
Yeah, it does. I tear up like so easy sometimes, but no, this is great. Thank you.
Of course, is the cover. Gorgeous,
Oh my God,
gorgeous
that is
cover.
so awesome.
And we have another little surprise for you, which is your article within the magazine and the cover.
Amazing. Holy moly, what is
A
going
real
on? Oh my
biggie.
God.
Oh,
When I'm out of town, I will leave that for my husband.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We have Brett Thompson back on the show. He's here to talk to us about a taco takeover.
Good morning. Thank you.
That's
Hi, good to see you.
How's Cantina?
And a cocktail takeover.
Yes,
It's never
yes.
too early for a Friday
Right,
morning.
exactly. Yeah, there we go.
So-
And these are definitely stiff too, so just made them fresh. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, so these are really very unique cocktails. We call it El Jalisciense, which is someone from Jalisco. That's what it means. And it's made with Jose Cuervo tequila and tejuino. And tejuino is kind of like corn kombucha. It's
Woo!
it's
Hence
made.
the corn
Hence the corn, we char it, so you kind of get that.
It burned the corn.
Wow, it's like really good.
Yeah.
Cool garnish.
And then we have our little Pez powder rim on there, which is our proprietary seasoning. It's like a chili and lime and some chili de árbol simple syrup.
Ah.
Yeah.
Pez powder.
Pez powder, yeah. So it's something we've been working on at the restaurant, and
that's amazing.
yeah, it's
Not
definitely right. It's not shy.
Yeah.
Happy
Not shy.
Friday, everyone.
Yeah,
Don't mind if I do over here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
gonna
tell us a
sip
little bit
my
about the restaurant itself,
Um,
and then we'll
so
talk about the event.
Pez Cantina. It's in downtown Los Angeles. It's a Baja style Mexican restaurant. We've got a bar. We've got live music. It's got a great view of like urban downtown Los Angeles. My wife Lucy and I own it. And yes, we get the boys in there sometimes. Free labor running around, filling them water and stuff like that. You know?
So they have a blast, though, right?
Yeah, they love it, actually. They're a little shy, but they get into it.
I love that
And-
it's a family affair.
Yeah, and it kind of stems from just our fishing trips to Baja California. And it's just, you know, it is upscale, but it is very casual and comfortable and friendly. It's kind of like coming to our house. So I love
So
that.
it's not just Taco Tuesday, it's tacos every day.
Tacos every day,
I like
absolutely,
that.
yes,
I
yeah.
could eat I can eat fish tacos every day.
I
Love
could
it.
too. We do a lot with seafood, ceviche, tostadas,
Yes,
aguachile, all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun.
And there's a takeover happening on September 15th, right? The first annual Cuervo
Right.
Traditional Taco
Yes,
Takeover.
to
Tell us about
mañana.
it.
So it's actually a very exciting weekend because Mexican Independence Day starts actually tomorrow midnight. So a lot of activity around the city with just Mexicans in general and festivals and stuff. It's a taco contest with margaritas or other cocktails using tequila. And Thrillist is putting it on, and if there are any leftovers, Cannonball Productions has a foundation, Forage Forward, which brings the food to the rescue mission downtown. So
Forage Forward.
Forage Forward, yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
So they actually, are you talking about where you have leftover food and then they bring?
Right.
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's really amazing.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I mean, I think can't see there being a lot of leftovers. I mean, it's going to be a contest. So
And there's going to be tequila. So the more tequila, the more tacos. That's how it
exactly.
works
It's kind
for
of like
me.
all you can eat. So I don't know how much, But yeah, it should be really fun. I mean, these kind of events are always great. When you give someone, an interest fee and pretty much all you can drink and eat, it tends to be a fun event,
Just love that.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, you're an entrepreneur, of course. You have your own restaurant, and you're always involved in these really cool and fun events.
Yeah.
What has been one of the things you've discovered that has led to you experiencing this kind of success in your life? Because I think there are lots of people out there that maybe they want to be an entrepreneur or they want to open their own restaurant, and you've done such a great job.
Yeah.
What would you share with them?
It's really, really hard. First of all, you have to just 100% dedicate your time into what you're doing. I mean, if you decide you're going to work on your own, I find that you have to just commit to that. No matter how hard it is, you have to be just headstrong and just do it. So many benefits. I mean, having my own schedule, being able to but stay home in the morning and take my kids to school, not having that 9-to-5 job. I actually promote not having a 9-to-5 anywhere in a restaurant, even if the cooks have a 9-to-5. It's more like I like to promote entrepreneurialism in the restaurant as well. But I think it's just the ability to be creative, and yes, there are huge risks in it, but the rewards are amazing. And we're at a point now, we're 4 years into the restaurant, and I'm able to do some other projects like Pez Powder and some other things we're working on. So it's very rewarding.
Just love it. Where can we find the Pez Powder?
Well, we are actually looking for a distributor right now. All right. We got actually in the top 15 new brands at the Western Food Expo recently. So that's the rim on there.
Really
that's
good
the
too.
whole, that's the whole key to this. I drink about 4 cocktails a year, but if I'm going to have a cocktail, I want one with that stuff on it.
It's fun, and not to plug that too much, but it's good on watermelon, on fish, on popcorn, on chips,
really?
like everything. It's really
It's
fun.
like spicy, but
I love
that. Yeah.
But not that hot spicy.
Right, yeah.
Just
it's great on micheladas, Bloody Marys. I mean, my kids just eat it like this. I mean,
you can do a virgin one with it, right?
You can do like an agua fresco or lemonade. It's amazing, yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your
You are
beautiful work.
thanks for
It's
having me
art.
here,
Look
yeah.
at how beautiful these pieces are.
Thank you.
Have a great time.
Fish taco, and then so this is a swordfish, salsa negra, chipotle aioli, avocado. And this one here is a surf and turf. It's a braised beef short rib and salsa morita, and then cilantro crema, pickled shallots, and some shrimp chicharron. There's actually a little tiny shrimp we actually roast in butter and garlic. They're delicious.
They're so cute.
They're cute.
Are you entering this in the taco competition?
Yes, we are. Those are our 2 tacos tomorrow.
Amazing. Well, good luck. We're really excited
Thank you so much.
for
Thank
it.
you.
So excited.
Tell everybody where they can come find these tacos tomorrow.
It'll be at La Plaza de Cultura y Arte. It's a mouthful. Which is off of Main Street, like near Old Vera Street in downtown Los Angeles.
Taco
Awesome.
Takeover.
Appreciate you,
Thank you
Fred.
so much.
Thanks for having
Good
me
luck.
on. Yeah,
Stay
you're
tuned. We'll be
welcome.
back
Thank
with
you.
more Good Morning La La Land.
Yes, it is, yeah. I was so amazed because I actually wrote a song about Justin Bieber in my previous album. And suddenly, Pooh Bear comes along and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta meet Justin. This is fate. This is destiny right here. So yeah, it was an amazing experience working with him. He's super talented, he's so humble, he's so down to earth, and it was just a blast working with him. You know, I'm living the best life. I have great parents, I have such good friends, I have a dream, you know, I have my music, I have my friends, so I think I'm really happy.
Welcome back to Purpose. I am your host, Brittany Zonker. I am flying with Andrew Seeley, the acro yoga instructor. This is insane, guys. I've been like this for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it
just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out. It feels like you should do this every day to me.
You can set up some sessions.
This feels amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, if you want to train with Andrew Seeley, all you have to do is look him up on Instagram. He is absolutely incredible. I've had an amazing time interviewing Mr. Seeley today. He teaches all over the world. He will help your body, mind, and your soul find your purpose. For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
I mean, you have been a host and much more than that for many, many years. Any tips you can give us?
You start early in the morning here, so as long as you have somebody who like picks up the speed for you, it's kind of like any relationship, right? Like someone has to have your back. Like if they know like you're not knowing where the next camera is, the next question, you know, as long as you're in tune with each other. But I think your show is incredible, and I'm so thrilled that I could be a part of it today. But more than that, it is about saying, hey, you know what, we need to impact change. What is the one little way in our own world that we can impact change? And whether it's you guys interviewing certain people, bringing awareness to topics, this is what needs to happen, because we've all woken up and we know, we know what the future is if we keep going down this path.
I know that the calling and the purpose is so much greater than me trying to get my hair right, to go to the red carpet and whatever. I got to keep up because the purpose is so great. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. I am so excited to welcome back to the show Dr. Shelley. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I would love if you would introduce your very special guest with us
honored.
today. Okay.
I love these ladies. I absolutely love these ladies. So I get the mic.
You get the mic.
Okay. So this is Adrienne Dythorn. She is absolutely fantastic. She is the CMO of Inspiring Lives magazine, and she's incredible. She actually Dr. Erin's a pro too. Here we go. So she just was announced National Fundraiser of the Year.
Wow.
So she's been doing a lot of wonderful things for nonprofits around the globe, and we're just so proud to have her here today. And we have the beautiful Ranella. Ranella just did Khloe Kardashian Revenge Body, and so she's looking fierce and feeling good, you know. Dating, yeah, she's looking for some dating advice. So she's all about the Field Friday. And we've got Chevelle. Now Chevelle was the district attorney of Philadelphia. Well, honey, in my eyes, for everything. Like, no assistant about it. So Chevelle is a powerhouse female attorney, but also a business coach. And she's just rocking it out. So these ladies we all came from well, Ranella didn't, but we came from the East Coast to Come for Passions for Profits. It's a sold-out event, 500 people. We're going to be, I'm going to sing and speak.
You're going to sing
I'm going
and
to
speak.
Wow.
Oh, what are you going to sing?
This is me from The Greatest Showman, and Ranella's going to we're going to do a little duet action up there, and then launch into like a talk show-esque type of a format for the speaking. So, and tell all these inspiring stories.
So just to, stand the theme just a little bit, because you guys clearly love your purpose and calling. You love your careers.
Yes.
How has that helped you in having healthier relationships in your lives?
Wow. It's everything. I mean, so when I was a single mom for a long time, Dr. Erin, and just being focused on who I was, and I actually had to kind of date myself before I could go out and date other people. My daughter was really pushing. She was like, she was 7 years old at the time. She sat down and wrote a list of 50 things that I needed to find in her extra dad and my next husband. So she was like, she's committed. And when I found my amazing husband, we all call him Mr. Ken because that's what the kids, called them. And then, even my staff calls him Mr. Ken because that's who he is to us. But he's an amazing cardiologist. But we met on Match.com. But you know, I had Match.com on one screen and my list from my daughter, and I just could go check, check, check. He has a dog, check. Everything that I was looking for in a soulmate, he was. And that I think you really, and everything that I needed in a sisterhood is who I've now hired and brought on to my nonprofit and to the magazine. So you really need to know yourself, and then you need to know what you're looking for from the outside world, the inner world.
How about you guys?
I think one of the biggest things that I look for in relationships is people that I can power up. Okay, people that I can power up, because women need to lift each other constantly.
Yes.
And I really love to do that. I love to see women and men, frankly, succeed. That makes me the happiest. I can sit behind the scenes and do my job and be happy doing that, but if I can make anybody that I come in contact with a better person and lift them up, that's essentially my purpose in life.
Amazing.
Love that.
I'm way more selfish than you. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll do a couple spa days sometimes, trust me. I can be selfish a little bit.
So, initially, I'm a singer, and I gained 7 pounds, and then I got on Revenge Body by Khloe Kardashian, and I lost 60 pounds, maybe 45 now, because I've been busy, so I've been eating more. It's okay, it happens. I'm back on again. Thank you, and I have these women as support.
Absolutely.
So, knowing how it was to be treated, being overweight, to how it is now, it's completely changed my mindset. It's not just the physical, it's more for the inside. It's also like catching up to my old self again, like restarting, refreshing, and I'm so glad that I have women like filling my mind like, no, self-love, you look great, you look good. It doesn't matter if you have that extra flab or extra curve or whatnot. That's your beauty, and that's pretty much
We all support.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for me, what I have found is that, especially as women, because we're always giving and we're nurturers by nature, I found that we have to set standards for how we allow people to treat us.
Yes, yes.
Because we're so used to giving and caring that a lot of times, if you don't recognize it, there are some people out there that are takers don't know when to stop. So givers have to learn.
Yes.
That is one of the hardest things to really like set a boundary though, because especially as women, I feel like the caretaker, that nurturer, that maternal side in us comes out, and we want to give and give and give and take care of everyone.
Yeah.
And then there comes a point where you realize, I'm not getting anything in return. I'm not receiving.
Yes.
But it's hard to draw that line in the sand for me to create that boundary, because I feel like it's my calling, it's my responsibility to give.
And I just feel like through your experiences, so like for me, I was a teenage mom. So I had to take care of a son, and then my grandmother became ill later on, actually while I was trying to finish law school. So I had a lot of responsibilities that landed on my plate, and I had no choice but to set boundaries. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I would have just let people run all over me, and I wouldn't have also been able to focus on the things I needed to get done. So boundaries are really important, and I also like to tell people, no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Get it, girl!
I love that.
When I was overweight, of course, men treated me differently. Like, I wasn't the cute girl anymore of the crew. I was like, okay, she's cute, but she's chubby. But you know what? Nowadays, I love the fact that people are embracing curve, but also if I had known then what I know now, my confidence would still be like, I don't care, I still look good, and you'll still date me because I'm a beautiful person inside.
Absolutely. It starts with us.
Right. But my point is, from saying that, and now I see how men are, especially here in LA. It's the land of the beautiful people. I mean, like every single person here, down to the men, are beautiful. So it's like you have to just literally step into your purpose, and that's what makes you shine. And I feel like when you're around people like these women, you shine amongst each other, and the more you glow, the brighter you.
Right. So speaking of purpose, and you guys have found each other, it's so wonderful. It's like we think of only traditional relationship and marriages. Like there's beautiful marriages that happen between friends and in bizarre ways that we'd never hear about. So tell us about your relationship as Inspiring Lives.
Oh wow, you want to
You start.
Okay, so first and foremost, this morning, Dr. Tilly and I, we were on the phone like 5 o'clock this morning.
Of course,
and she just called to tell me she loved me.
I did.
And this is how we respond to it, because I really do love my sisters. These are my sisters, right? My sisters from another mister, right? And so I think that one of the things we even talked about this morning is we as women, especially this circle, we give. Like we're not here to receive from one another, but we do receive. But that's not what we're looking to do. So I'm looking to help Shelly, I'm looking to help my sisters, and in return, something always comes back to me. So I think that if people in general start to lead from a service perspective, because there's so many people thinking, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? How can I make this connection? What's going to be in that resource? People like to attach themselves to people that they think they can get a benefit from. When instead, if you ask yourself, how can I be of service? How can I? And my whole life of doing what I do, I've always been service focused, and the end result is I become blessed. So in this sisterhood,
so true. It's one of the primary things we teach in prosperity classes of spiritual prosperity is like, if you switch that mindset of service, then it opens up doorways that you never knew, and relationships and business and all kinds of things happen. So well said.
And I feel like I've been giving much, and for some reason, I meet people all the time, I talk to people all the time, and I like talking to people, and I never know who they are, I don't really care, and sometimes I love the fact that I'm able to connect people, and I'm like, here you go, here, talk to this person, you can have this thing. Because I feel like we have so much, I have so much on my plate. I'm like, why not make more room for my plate so that more things are given to me? So just give it away. I don't need it. I mean, regardless, I'm still gonna get mine.
So with Inspiring Lives magazine, it really has been a way to connect women around the world, and also through the Global Sisterhood. Do you want to talk, Adrienne, a little bit about, you're recently on Inspiring Lives magazine's team, but I think that you've really felt just the flood of love and what we're all about. Can you speak to that?
Sure. I was shocked at how much I was received so quickly and how much I was loved. I mean, it was like 5 minutes, I meet Shelly at a party, and we connected on such a high level of understanding and even a spiritual connection. And I was like, I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this for you. And it was so quick. And then Chevelle, we're on a Facebook Messenger group, and we're going back and forth and going back and forth and going back and forth. And I immediately felt the love from her. I had not even known her at all.
I think we just saw each other for the first time like yesterday.
So we already knew each other.
That's what is so different about women doing business versus men.
Yes.
We have to love you and like you.
Absolutely.
And then we're like, oh yeah, and then we'll do business.
Yes.
And then like, let's do some business, and then I'll decide.
That's so funny. Absolutely. And you know, with us, it's really it's grown. There's been so many ways that we've connected other dots. For example, with Chevelle, like I have been Skyping into classrooms in South Africa, teaching in these empowerment circles in the academies with these young women for 7 years. And then she met Hasina Patel, who came in from South Africa for our global gala, and then tell them.
Came back from South Africa. So I'll tell you what happened. I was invited. I do international speaking, and I like to do women empowerment events. And I was invited to speak at an event, and 2 weeks before the event, it was canceled. So everything was paid for, and I was like, oh, what am I gonna do in South Africa, right? So, but because of the global sisterhood and the connections, there's probably no place I can go where I don't know someone. So basically I said, oh, Hasina is in South Africa, right? And again, what I said was, I said, okay, I'm gonna go. My plans changed from going to speak to just going to vacation and have a good time. So I called Hasina and I said, I'm scheduled to come to South Africa. And I said, do you need anything from me? I said, because I know she was working with girls and she was creating a Leave No Girl Behind. She was creating that. And I speak, so I said, do you need anything from me? And she said, oh, you know what, let me think about this. The next thing I know, she calls me and she's like, I want you to come. I want you to come to my school, and I'm gonna tell the girls you're coming, and just talk to them. There were probably 120 girls that
So
came
awesome.
from all over.
So impactful.
It was like so powerful. It was amazing. And there was like a reporter there. There was like all these things. I didn't plan that. I just asked if there was anything that I could do for you while I was there. And it just became
beautiful.
Wonderful. And now, so she has a program. I'm gonna like mentor one of the girls. I'm gonna like take on. So it was, yeah. And I had some of the girls, they came up, they were like crying because they don't hear at home that they can do these things, that they can achieve certain things. So I gave this whole talk and I made them do these empowerment exercises. Yes. And I shared with them like my story. Because like I said, I was a teenage mom. I mean, I had lots of obstacles that I overcame. And I just wanted to be the voice for them so that they could see there's somebody here standing in front of me that was in a situation similar to mine. And if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So it was really great. And then that all came again from the connections.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, your network is your net worth. Right?
Absolutely.
We believe that.
You can be rich
So
in
true.
resources. It's not always money, and it always comes back. So always operate from a place of service, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
I love that Richard Branson said not too long ago, basically he said, I don't build businesses, I build people, and people build businesses.
Absolutely.
So I love that you guys are doing that, and it's so well reflected in Inspiring Lives magazine,
Thank
obviously.
you so much.
Tell people where they can find Inspiring Lives and how they can get back to your community.
So it's inspiringlivesmagazine.com, real simple to remember, and we're on Instagram and all over the place. But definitely they should be subscribing or finding us at 635 Barnes & Nobles across the country.
Woo! That's right. You are inspiring lives. Thank you so much for being part of the Focus family.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Packrat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. In celebration of Friday Feels, we start with some good coffee and some great food and some fabulous people. So want to welcome to the show Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen. We have AJ and Jason. How are you guys? AJ, I've known you for years.
No,
it was like a surprise coming on set today.
Yeah.
We met at Sundance Film Festival, right?
About 10 years
ago.
Such a small world.
So great to see you.
Yeah, great
Tell us about what you guys are up to.
So Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen, we just opened a month ago. It's the first location. We are a mission-driven coffee concept. We opened our first location in South LA, in the historic View Park, Windsor Hills community. The idea was we've been in food and beverage for years here in West Hollywood, and we were looking to expand our business, and we were thinking about areas that just don't have the variety and the options that we're accustomed to north of the 10 freeway, west of the 405. So we started focusing on areas that were developing, but that deserved additional, complementary, healthier, just better overall breakfast and lunch options, but also creating a space for the local creative community to come together, share their ideas, local community organizers to come together, find ways to uplift their local community.
It's become kind of places, coffee houses have become our workspaces a lot of the time. And you guys have a great mission and drive around the concept of the climb. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're always trying to inspire people to achieve their goals, and coffee shops historically have always been a place for people to kind of gather and work on their laptop and meet. So we wanted to bring that kind of mentality to, I guess you would call it a food desert, where that type of option doesn't exist, and do really good kind of, well-crafted foods. Everything is from scratch. Everything's made with care. Everything has a lot of attention to detail. And everything's all natural and healthy for you.
So tell us a little bit about the menu, chef, and the pieces you brought with you today.
Yeah, so we'll start here. This is our free-range chicken sandwich on some lovely sourdough bread. Over here we have a free-range chicken salad. It's a beautiful fall dish. It has some dried cranberries, some shaved cabbage, and some almonds, topped with some shaved eggs, and our citrus vinaigrette. Over here we have our smoked salmon drop top with a dill and basil cream cheese and a 9-minute egg on top, some pickled red onions right on top with some crispy capers. And our most popular menu item right there, of course, is our deluxe breakfast sandwich. It has bacon, avocado, free-range eggs, and a Thai chili aioli.
I'm moving to South LA, because it's hard to find free-range chicken and things like that. Like, I mean, when you start getting conscious, you're like, I just can't eat that other stuff anymore. It's hard, and so that's amazing.
Yeah, we came up with this idea for conscious comfort, right? Because the things that you really like are the things you probably shouldn't be eating. And then there's this whole movement, obviously, towards healthier food, but it's not as approachable. So we try to find something that's kind of in the middle of wanting to be good and then wanting to be bad.
It is Friday Feels, you know.
Yeah. Surprised the food has lasted this long, because I would have swallowed all of it whole.
Yeah.
Starving the more I look at it.
But then a little bit more about just Hilltop, the brand, and what it represents. So when you think of a Hilltop, it's things that bridge humanity together, right? All of us have goals, all of us have obstacles, things that we wake up in the morning that we need to overcome, or our own versions of hilltops that we'd like to climb. And more often than not, we have multiple things that we're trying to accomplish. We're very ambitious, more than we've ever been. So we wanted to really use that as a way to connect with the local community that we're going in and create something that can honestly live anywhere in any market, but focus on markets that really need it.
They say that I don't know what this is, I'm not in the restaurant industry, but the middle range, that area is the fastest growing, because people are so busy. They don't have time to make food at home as much anymore, and they might not want to go out and eat a really expensive meal. So this is a real medium for you. How did you come up? Did you do a lot of research? Where's the market going for people on the run?
So I think it's the fast casual has been the trend over the past few years. I think that we have a casual, normal, regular dining style restaurant just down here on Melrose. It's called The Parlor. It's a pretty popular sports bar. But when we were thinking of a concept that connected more with people like us, people that were on the go, but still wanted to be healthy, still wanted to be able to come in at a competitive price and get some good quality coffee. So all of our coffee is micro roasted here locally. So check all of the boxes that people felt like they were supporting their local community. We hire from the local community, so much like we heard with some of your previous guests, we want to teach leadership and entrepreneurship through entry-level employment. So we have a very ambitious roadmap to going to areas that are underserved, just like the ones that we're in now. We're already identifying our second and our third locations. Wow. And we really believe that we can do good business and still make an impact.
So what is it, the hill that you're climbing?
Which one?
Exactly.
Yeah, with this particular hill, I mean, I think it's, we naturally, when you start a business or you start a career, you have a certain path that you're on, and then you start to accumulate some knowledge and some resources, and you start to go, your values start to change a little bit. You get exposed a little bit more about things that are a little bit more important, and then you start to realize that other people, that you're attracting people like that. So it's kind of paving the way, I guess, for the culture that we're looking to create. We're only a month old, but we feel like we've been here for a while. But the hill that's currently is we're just trying to kind of pave that way and be that inspiration for the people that we employ, but also the people that we're serving.
What's the most significant thing you each have learned in the climb, both about business and about life?
Let me start with that. So when I actually first met AJ, I had kind of left my normal chef job to pursue one of my own dreams, which was starting my own restaurant. So I was starting a pop-up that had gained a lot of popularity, was doing really well, and he came to one of my events and was impressed, and that's how we met. So along that journey is how I got to where I am. So, one thing I learned is sometimes you just got to go for it. You just follow your dreams and things will work out. So
love that.
And I think for me is realizing that there really is no real destination, right? There's only milestones, and when you finally get to where you think is the end, then you're staring up another hill. You're like, oh wow, I thought I was going to get a break, but no. And then once you learn to embrace the climb, right, that's when things start to get really fun, and things start to kind of click, and then you start to attract and re-attract people that were once in your life. And,
I love that. I love the mission. I love the concept. I love that you guys are, instead of Starbucks that goes to the destinations, it's like the top of the real estate. You're going to somewhere that you can help and assist and rise together.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Thank you.
I have a feeling I'm going to love this food too.
We are taking it to the top together. We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. You can catch all of your favorite interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, and comment, and go check out these guys. Looks like some fabulous food. Have a divine day.
To the top. Good Morning La La Land.
Love it. I love it so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.